Welcome to Apostolos, where we believe everyone who is saved is also called to be sent. And normally, when I make these introductions, I say, joining me is my good friend. And today, I have a very, very special guest today who's not just a good friend, but she's actually, in a technical way, family. And I had to explain to Pastor Josh how I am sort of in a way related to Auntie Karen. And this is Auntie Karen Tam. And she is my, if you can follow this, she is my dad's older brother's wife's sister in law. Is that right?
Yes, yes.
So, Auntie Karen, actually, you were coming to this church. How long ago did you start? When you first started coming to First Assembly of God?
The one on
When? Yeah,
Lunalilo
Luna Lilo.
Street. I
Yeah.
was 8 years old. I came on the bus ministry.
Wow. And Auntie Karen has been. She started when she was very young, coming to our church, but then met her husband and then moved to
Palisades Community,
Palisades Community Chapel, where they were really involved for a long, long
50
time.
years.
50. Wow. And just 3 years ago,
Mhm.
3 years ago, made a transition to come back to First Assembly of God, which brings us to what I wanted to talk to you about today. And in August, we're having a shelter gala, and we wanted to take time right as leading up to the shelter gala. We wanted to take time to talk about what is the shelter all about? Because apostolos is about being sent, right? And a lot of times, Auntie Karen, a lot of the guests that I've had on the show, we're talking about missionaries, right? Going to the ends of the earth. We're talking about going to Brazil, Colombia, Spain. And missions is also about being at home, right? And
Right.
doing missions at home. And that's what the shelter is all about. And so, can you explain to us a little bit about if someone were to ask you, what is a shelter? What would you say to them?
The shelter is a transition home
Hmm.
for homeless mothers and their children. They stay there 9 months to a year
Okay.
and then they transition out to the community. But at this point here, able to survive and to contribute back to the community because
Mm,
they have been mentored, they have been
mm,
trained
yeah.
while in the shelter.
Wow. And when did you first find out about the shelter? I love this story that you tell. Can you tell us like what motivated you to say, you know what, I'm signing up? And because you're not paid staff, right? You're just a
No,
volunteer,
volunteer.
just a
Yes.
volunteer. So what inspired you? What was it, an altar call? That was there a burning lemon tree and the Lord just spoke to you and said, "Go to the shelter." What was that moment like for you where you knew that you wanted to be a part of the shelter?
I enrolled in one of the School for Christian Growth classes,
Yeah.
and I was in a class that Dr. Paul taught.
Okay.
And in the same class was Brother Daniel.
Mhm.
And we had a lot of discussion in the
Right.
class. So I kept on hearing him talk about the stress that he was under. So one day I asked him, um, Brother Daniel,
Yeah.
you need help. And he looked back at me and he said, would you volunteer? And I said, oh, I was thinking of it actually. And that month, I started at the shelter in 2023, and I've been doing it for 2 years now.
So I really like that marketing strategy. Pretend like you're stressing out so people help you.
He was stressed.
Was he stressed?
I think
Is that
so.
why he was in the class? Was because he was so stressed?
For health, yes. For mental health among physical and physical health,
Well, I'm
yes.
so glad that and you started this journey at the shelter how many years ago volunteering?
2 years.
2 years.
Hmm.
Wow. So what was one of the first tasks that they asked you to do as a volunteer?
Well, they had me in the office, and I'm a baby boomer. I'm not that good with
Yeah.
computers. The first thing they did was they put me on computers. I had all the phone interviews I had to type it into the computer. Then I had to type it into a database. And then I had to do job searches and housing searches all on the computer. Never done that before. And then they had me scan to digital memory these thousands and thousands of pages from these thick, thick folders. And all of that I had never done before. God stretched me so much
Wow.
learning how to do these different things on the computer. But I learned a lot.
Mm. So you're saying you had to transcribe all of the interviews?
Oh, yeah.
You have to write
Anything.
it out or?
Well, I would first write it out um, on a piece of paper because I
Wow.
could not type as I
Okay.
spoke. And then I would take all that information, put it into a database.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then from there, they would call back if it looked like a
Mm.
good candidate for the shelter.
Oh, I see. And then these housing searches, what would you would you go on like Zillow or what how
Yes.
do you find these places?
That's a good question. I had to learn. And so I went on these
Uh-huh.
different things that Kanoi suggested, and I learned a lot because I never did that before.
So you would find these places, would you call? Would you
Yeah,
call and
if I could, I
inquire?
would call, I would ask them their monthly rent and all kinds of other questions.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And then these big documents that you were scanning, they were dictionaries or what?
Records,
Oh, a lot of
records.
records. Oh,
Yes,
wow.
thousands of pages. So that made a lot of room in the office.
Oh,
Got
I
rid of
see.
all the
I see.
folders.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So for how many months were you doing like this office work?
Um, I just started a different thing in January. All this time I've been doing office work.
Oh, so like for a whole year or so, you've
More
been
than a year and a half, maybe.
wow.
Yeah.
Because you were telling me before the interview that you like to be behind the scenes, right?
Yes. Yes.
So did that like encourage you? Did that like motivate you? Like, wow, I'm making a difference by being behind the scenes.
Yes. Yes. That's what I love doing
Hmm.
behind the scenes so nobody can see me. So to
Hmm.
do this was, I argued with God. I said, God, I can't do this. I can't do this. But then God told me, do it.
Yeah, you're talking
So,
about doing the podcast or
yes.
doing the interviews.
Yes.
Because I thought you'd be, I thought when you're telling me about doing office work, I thought you'd be a natural because
Mm.
prior to this, right, you were an English teacher at Radford,
Mm-hmm.
right? How many years were you teaching at Radford?
25.
25 years. And as for those of you who don't know, I was a youth pastor for about 13 years, and our main focus when I was a youth pastor was Radford.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just neat to have someone who was family for me being at Radford, and I just thought your English teacher and to do office work should have been like a breeze for you, but I guess it
No.
was.
Mm-mm.
But you serve faithfully behind the scenes, doing the office work, and then one day you're telling me you got promoted. Can you
Not
tell?
a promotion, a different challenge.
Different challenge.
Yes. So Jerry asked me
Yeah.
to start an after school program
Hmm.
for the children in the shelter.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was a real challenge. All the prep work, all the
Mm.
getting used to the children. It was a totally different experience for me. So I really was challenged by it, but I was blessed by it.
Mm. And you started an after school program, right?
Hmm.
Can you
Keiki Adventure in January.
okay. And what
And
is
we
that?
ran from January to May. And then we're taking a break for the summer. And I'm starting again in August to the time I have to leave um,
Mm.
to go to the mainland.
So what does Keiki Adventure look like?
Um, it in this particular unit that I started, and it has to change every time I do it because the kids will move in and out,
Mm.
new kids will come
Mhm.
in. We did the fruit of the spirit
Okay.
this past session, and the children learned Galatians 5:22-23,
Yes.
and learned what each of the fruit of the spirit meant
Mm.
in terms of action.
Mhm.
So, like for the fruit of the spirit is love. I will put others first. Um,
Mm. Wow.
joy. Um, I will be okay with what I have.
Mm,
So this becomes a part of their life,
wow.
hopefully.
I think we all need to take that class. We need to take that class. What were those things again? So love is
Love is I will put others first.
wow.
Joy is I will be okay with what I have.
Wow.
If you can say that, you're content with
Yeah.
everything.
Mm,
Peace, I will not be afraid because I trust in God.
wow.
So they have these faith facts to
Oh, you
associate
call
with
it
each of
faith
the friends.
facts. Okay, so they learn these faith facts. Are there any activities that go along in this
Yes, yes.
adventure?
Yeah, games and um uh we even did Bible quizzing with the
Oh.
JBQ questions.
Mm.
They love that. They like to do Bible bingo with JBQ
Okay. So
questions.
you take. So for those of you who don't know, can you explain what is JBQ?
Junior Bible quizzing.
Okay. What
That
is that?
it's a list it's about 600 questions that cover the whole realm of
Mm.
Assemblies of God doctrine. So
Oh,
from the
okay.
beginning to the end of the Bible, all these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting them with the beginning questions, and we play Bible bingo with them to help them to
Oh, that's
learn that.
fun.
And they look forward to playing that.
Do they get any prizes
Of
at the end?
course. That's why they love bingo.
You can tell that she's a teacher because I was just telling you that's the one for you being interviewed and being on a video is it's hard for you. I love it. But for me, what's hard is being a teacher. So it's all the prep work and it's managing the class and I can see you just being in your element, right? You're loving these kids and
Oh,
you're giving them
yeah. They're
something
so
to look forward
precious.
to.
Uh-huh.
Can you without naming names, protecting their privacy and all
Hmm.
of that, can you think of a family or children that really stood out to you and what was your experience like and why was that so memorable to you?
I had a boy come in completely, he just moved into the shelter and he was such a blessing.
Mm.
He would participate, cooperate,
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
And to see them and to see their weaknesses too,
Mm.
and yet overcoming those weaknesses, um, that is a blessing for me. And then another girl, um, so young and yet always praying, asking for prayer for
Wow.
her friend or
Wow.
for her mom or
Mm.
for whatever. Very spiritual, spiritually mature for a young 5 year old.
Mm.
And then when she had to leave, I almost cried because
Wow.
it's a normal transition kind of thing, right? It's
Right.
time for them to go, or
Mhm.
they get together. They have another living situation,
Mhm.
and it when they leave, it's very very painful for me because I grew to love them so much,
Yeah.
So it's been a blessing. It's really been a blessing.
Yeah, it's yeah, when you share that, it's just they I feel like they've become family, right, to
Yes,
you.
yes.
And you were sharing earlier about how because of all of the trauma that these kids have had to go through, their their prayer requests are not like your typical
Hmm.
prayer. Could you share a little bit like what kind of, I mean, like in general, like what kind of prayer requests were they asking for? What kind of prayers in general would you say?
Usually for other people.
Hmm.
It's that's what their prayer requests.
Hmm.
They weren't selfish and
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
prayer
Yeah.
for their specific needs,
Mm-hmm.
but more they were more other oriented.
Mm.
So their parents in the shelter, they were training them well
Mm.
because their look was not at poor me, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have this
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. They were always asking about other
Mm-hmm.
other needs.
Yeah. And I feel like by doing this, what was it called? Keiki Adventure?
Yes.
By doing this Keiki Adventure, what a blessing it was for the moms
Mm,
because they're working all day
mhm.
and then childcare, it's a big deal, right? For the shelter. I have to
Yes,
find a
that's what they need
job
volunteers for. Yeah.
and that's what you did, right? You're
Mm,
volunteering and you're not just doing childcare, you're raising up future leaders and
mhm.
missionaries and pastors and I just know, like, for these moms that they must have been so grateful, right? Did you have a chance to talk to any of the moms, and did they give you any feedback on what Kiki Adventure meant to them?
I didn't have that many chances to talk to them because I'm there for this short
Oh,
period of
okay.
time, and I haven't had much
Okay.
feedback. But
Okay.
yeah, otherwise I would share that with you.
Wow. Okay. So you've been doing Kiki Adventure from the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
Are you doing anything else as far as volunteering, or is that it
Volunteering for the
for the
shelter.
shelter? Yeah.
Well, should I talk about helping find
Oh yeah,
housing?
sure.
Okay. I had this one great opportunity
Mm,
to actually go with a mom she was transitioning out
yeah.
already, and to look at the option she had for renting once she left the
Mm,
shelter. She didn't want to leave the shelter. The moms
mm,
don't want to leave the
wow.
security of the shelter because they
Mm,
feel so safe there and so
yeah.
accepted. So
Yeah.
but she voiced that to me, but she
Mm,
had to do it, right? So we went. I took her because otherwise she would catch the bus to see the different
mm,
options.
mm.
And so I drove her. It was a Tuesday. That's the day I go in. And I drove her to two options. And I wasn't pleased with the options. Okay.
Why weren't you pleased with the first couple of options?
I wouldn't live there. Okay. I would
Okay.
not rent there. Okay.
Mm,
But then she found a place, and I was
mhm.
so excited that I wanted to go see it. So
Yeah.
Kanoe and I went to the apartment for lunch. I took lunch
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah.
there, and we enjoyed it. I stepped into the apartment, and I didn't start bawling or
Yeah, yeah,
anything,
yeah.
but I started crying inside because
Mm,
I was so happy to see
mm,
that she had found a place that was livable. And she told me what she wanted before she even started hunting. And one option was exactly what God provided in that
wow.
apartment. It was just like a miracle in so many ways. And that was the miracle of finding just the right apartment
Mm,
for this particular family
mhm,
was so exciting. I just cried. Every time I think about it, I cry because um, God is working. God is
mm,
working in ways that we don't even know. Um,
yeah.
he has blessed me so much by seeing that
Wow.
one example of God working his
Mm.
miracle.
So you're saying that this mom had a checklist of what her dream house was gonna be
Yes.
like. Can you share with us what are some of those things that were on her list?
No, I'm not going to share. That's
Okay.
private.
But it's amazing, right? How she
Yes.
wrote it
Yes.
all out and she had this list that God wanted,
Uh
that she
huh.
was asking God for. And
Right.
you're saying everything on that list.
There was one thing she asked God for. That was what she got.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And for
Yes.
you to experience that,
Wow.
because I was asking you, like, 2 years of volunteering, what keeps you coming back?
Mhm.
Right. And this is
Seeing that happen, seeing God work that miracle
right.
calls
And
me back.
I think for you, right, you start off where you're behind the scenes, you're you're recording all the interviews, you're, you know, filing everything away, and you're doing all of this computer stuff, you're scanning things, and you're calling, for different places, possibilities for moms to live. Then you're ministering to their kids, and then you have this opportunity to almost like come full circle where what you're doing at the beginning on the front in the office, and now you can see all that work,
Mhm.
right? And all that prayer and all that love and the care for the kids and the families. Then it ends with, you can see the final, like, wow, they
Yes, the
step into,
transition. Yes. Wow.
and you brought her lunch. And do you still see her, or this mom,
Yeah.
or wow. Wow. You are the best volunteer at the shelter. Are you the only volunteer at the shelter? How many
Oh
volunteers are
no, they
there?
have lots of shelter volunteers. They
Okay.
do everything.
From what?
Um, One time I was waiting to start my class, and there was this volunteer. all she was doing was sweeping up there hundreds of leaves on the
Mm.
outdoor area, sweeping it up, doing weeding and everything.
Mhm.
I said, "Wow, she was doing that
Okay.
for the Lord."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In spite of her physical, um, some
Mhm.
physical problems she's having, she's out there working for the shelter
Yeah.
to obey God's call in her life.
Mhm.
Um, another, well, there was another
Yeah.
previous shelter mom that came to help rearrange the nursery area.
Oh.
And I watched her move furniture. She's smaller than I am.
Mhm.
She is moving furniture around, rearranging things, plugging things in, pulling plugs out. I
Wow.
thought, whoa, I could never do that.
Yeah.
That's what these volunteers do,
Mm.
They're
Mhm, mhm.
powerful in what they can do. They do it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just such a blessing to watch them.
So, let's say someone listening to the podcast right now, right? Like, "Man, I feel so inspired." What what are the areas or the opportunities that they could volunteer for when it comes to the shelter?
Well, childcare, um, um, helping with the facilities. They have Teen Challenge coming in every
Oh.
Tuesday too
Oh,
to
really?
work on the property. There's so much need for that. Uh, You should go to the shelter uh, th-
The website?
website because
Yeah.
they have all the things that they need volunteers for. And they need a lot of volunteers to keep it
Mm.
running.
Mhm.
So just go check it out.
So there's childcare facilities. I mean, there the shelters. Would you say the shelter is also connected to the community farm that they're developing, or is that separate?
Yes, that would be another thing they really need to develop
Yeah.
so that income is.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So for those of you who are listening, I mean, it's not just facilities or childcare. I mean, if you are good with landscaping,
Mhm.
like you're saying, right, or if you have a green thumb, that's another thing where they're creating a it's an incredible vision, right?
Mhm.
Where they're creating a community farm where can grow your own food,
Mhm.
right? And then you can also look for work outside. But just if you don't have a skill, you can learn a skill
Mhm.
at the shelter. And yeah, the shelter is for those of you who don't know, and maybe we should have started off with this. The shelter was birthed and founded by our senior pastor, Pastor Cole, and Pastor Cole actually the Lord gave him the name, the shelter, and so he went on looking for if anyone has that name right on the
Mhm.
domain. And so he went on the computer, and when he went on the websites and he was checking Google, he actually found a company called The Shelter from Alaska that creates these
Domes.
domes, right?
Oh.
And that's how he contacted Captain Don, and then before you know it, you have domes in igloos in Hawaii from Alaska, and really, really affordable, really easy to set up, break down, but they're weatherproof, they're
Mhm.
hurricane proof, tsunami proof. It's just incredible what God has been able to do through that, and that was the first miracle. But I think really the second miracle was people like you, people who volunteer their time. I know that there's people like we have different pastors and churches from around the island that are
Yes.
coming in. And do you know of any of those organizations
No, I'm
or?
not there when they're
Oh, I
there,
see.
so.
Because I know like we have other churches coming in and they're
Mhm.
volunteering and doing similar things, whether it's childcare. I know the youth pastor, Pastor Josh. I guess he's still the youth pastor at the time of this recording. But Pastor Josh for the summer will bring his youth group down,
Mm.
and they would do like something similar for
Mhm.
the kids. They'll have like VBS for the kids. They have Sunday school for the kids, but they will also take them to the farm and they'll serve in the farm. So uh, I think it's just really interesting to know that you can do missions right here in Hawaii,
Right.
right? And I know that you've been privy to a lot of inspiring stories where you've met these. We talk about the kids. Now I want you to give me your observation about these moms because you're sharing it
Oh,
earlier, right?
yes.
What is what? what do these moms embody, or what are some of the things that they have inside of them that just really impress you?
Mm. These moms never complain. I've never heard
Mm,
complaints from them. They're not woe is me kind of thing
right.
because of their past history,
Hmm.
but they are strong. Let me say, first of all, they are strong and confident
Mm,
because of and in
right.
spite of their past experiences,
Hmm.
the problems they've had in the past. They are strong and confident. At the same time, they are dependent on Jesus as their
Mm,
Lord and
mm,
provider. You put
yeah.
those 2 together, that's a power. That's real
Right.
power, and that's why I appreciate the mothers at the, shelter so much.
Yeah. And one of the cool things too is that the shelter also has a chaplain,
Mhm.
which is Pastor Tele. And
Totally.
I'm not there, but I know that they have chapels every week, and she is also a strong, confident
Yes.
woman that loves the Lord.
Mhm.
And just seeing how they get into the community, right? And so they have all of this resources during the week, but then on the weekend, on Sundays, they go to church.
Mhm.
And can you tell us, where is the church that a lot of these moms go to?
Oh, it's right there at the shelter. Pastor Horace and Pastor Tele are their
Yes. So
pastors.
there is a church that is on the same property that I guess they don't have to fight traffic. They don't have
Oh,
to look for
no.
parking. They can just walk right over, and there's church, which is amazing because really, that to me is the power of the shelter, which is Jesus, encountering Jesus, but also having a community of people around you
Mhm.
that love Jesus just as much and encourage you when you're down, when you're going through different challenges or crises. And it's just neat to see that they really become family on the weekend, but then with volunteers like yourself, they get family during the week, right? And so what do the moms call you?
Hmm.
Do they what how do they address you?
Karen.
Karen, and then the kids is auntie.
Karen. Very simple.
Yeah, I feel like you've really become just just family to these moms.
Mm.
And has there been any other times where you just walk away feeling like, wow, besides finding the house and, doing the Kiki adventure, has there been any other experiences where you just felt like, wow, they've really become family to me?
Hmm. Can't think of any right now.
Yeah. So how much do you see yourself doing this for another year, or
Until God tells me to stop.
wow, wow. And you just do it like once a week
Yeah, every
for
Tuesday.
how many hours do you?
During the time I was going in the morning, about 3, 4 hours every
Okay.
Tuesday, and then with the shelter, I'm spending an hour and a half maybe with them. But the prep time is like
Oh
very
yeah.
long.
Yeah.
But the time with them is
About an hour and a half for
yeah.
Kiki Adventure, but you have the prep time.
Hmm.
And then are you doing anything outside of Kiki Adventure? Are you still helping in the office or no?
No, Keiki Adventure is my one
Oh,
thing now,
wow. Oh, okay.
which helps.
So if you're listening and you're watching this podcast or just listening, just whatever you can give, right? If it's an hour and a half or if
Hmm.
it's 3 hours once a week. Are there volunteers that come in more than once a week?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm there only on Tuesdays,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't tell you that.
So just want to encourage people who are listening that, if you feel that God's calling you to be on mission, to God is sending you and you just don't know where to start, there's a perfect place called the shelter. And even um, if you don't even live in Hawaii, and we've actually had groups from the mainland come
Come
in
in.
and volunteer. We've had the military come in and volunteer. So it's just neat to see how God is opening the door for so many people to say, we want to make a difference for moms who are houseless with children, and really bring them the love of God. So,
Hmm.
anything else? If you're speaking to a potential volunteer, what would you encourage them to do?
I would encourage you to go beyond your comfort zone,
Mm,
um, and do things that you never expected God expects you to do or God wants you to do. And you think that there would be if everyone does that, there will be a team of volunteers that nothing can stop and can do so much to honor God and
mhm.
to help the shelter. There's so much you can do. So uh, whatever you can, if you make a commitment, that's what you have to do. Make a commitment, and God's going to bless you. Look at me. I did things that I would never do, but God has blessed me so much. This is the
Mm,
one ministry that I've had to go out of my
right.
comfort zone and learn things that I never expected I
Mm,
had to learn. And but God has blessed me because I had to depend on God so much.
yeah.
I've grown and God's
Wow.
blessed me so much. And I thank God for that.
Yeah, and I just also want to thank you, Auntie Karen, for stepping out of your comfort zone because of you, one of the moms from the shelter got the house or the home of her dreams, right? And it was everything that was on her list. And
Hmm.
you had the privilege with Kanoe of experiencing that with
Yes.
her, right? And
Yes.
just seeing like this couldn't have happened without God, but
Hmm.
it also couldn't have happened without volunteers like
Hmm.
you. So just want to thank you for coming on to Apostolos today, and if you've been inspired, if you've been listening to this, and you've been just like, how can I get involved? We want to encourage you. We have a website called theshelter.org, and it's an incredible website. You can actually see once you get on the website, you'll see the domes. It's this beautiful website, well designed, and if you want to get involved, go on the website and just click on the volunteer link. If you want to donate, that's also the place where you can donate as well. And if you want to be a part of the shelter gala, you can also do that and sign up. We only have a few more spots left for the shelter gala, but if God is putting it on your heart, I would encourage you to do that. Also, if you know of someone you're thinking, I think they need to hear about this because they were really interested and they wanted to get involved in something like this. I want to encourage you, share this podcast with them and tell them they need to subscribe to this channel because it's people like you and people like Auntie Karen that are making a difference, really being that apostolos light to the world. And so we just want to thank everyone for joining us today. Thank you for making time um, to say, God, here am I. Send me, not just to the nations, but all the way to Kahalu'u, right? And make a difference in moms who need and children who need to know the love of God. So thank you for joining us today. God bless you and aloha.
For more information on this podcast, visit firstalg.com/apostolos.